Goalkeeper missed it.
Played again.
Fight for him. He does a right hand and down goes the ball straight away.
Oh, what a point to end it on.
So now this is when you're at the bench. And when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Still goes to Andre New Zealand.
Well, he loves to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. It's another exciting edition of the show today, and we'll have a whole lot for you today in the world of sports. Top on our menu this evening, Jamaica sees victory in the Zen Athletics Championship. Coming in from the world of Formula One, George Russell, fastest in Hungarian Grand. And in football, Super Falcons grab first point in 2023 FIBA World Cup tourney. These and many more will be yours after a short time out. Stay with us. Welcome back as the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me this evening to do justice to the issues we have on our menu this evening is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to Sports Extraordinary.
Yeah, good evening, Kinsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. It's always a nice moment being here with you.
Always a nice moment. Let's put things straight now. We'll start with athletics on the show. As former technical director of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, Sunday Adeleye, says African athletes are the target of Athletics Integrity Unit sledgehammer after world champion Toby Amusan was suspended by the body on Wednesday for missing 3 out of competition tests in 12 months. The 26-year-old, who is one of the favorites for the 100 meters women's hurdle event at the forthcoming 2023 World Athletics Championship, which holds from August 19 to 27 in Budapest, Hungary, will miss out on the event if the Athletic Integrity Unit uphold her ban. What do you make of this statement, from Adeleye? He's saying that due to what happened this week to Toby Amusan, that the Athletic Integrity Unit, they are seriously watching athletes down here in Nigeria.
Well,
in Africa to say.
In Africa, I don't want to agree with him because we've seen the sledgehammer, falling on different countries from different other continents apart from Africa. over the past few years who actually faulted when it has to do with the rules of athletics. So I don't want to share that opinion with him because if actually Toby and Motion have had fulfilled all obligation, I mean, there would have been no need for this drama that we are facing right here. The sledgehammer of the Athletic Federation and the Integrity Unit have fallen on different countries or different athletes from different countries and continents over the years. We've not come out to hear this kind of foul cry. So for me, I think trying to apportion blame to the Athletic Federation or the body, I simply don't think that it is a nice idea. You know, saying that Africa is a target. No, I don't want to agree with that, because like I said, we've seen different athletes from different countries, you know, facing the same issue where they come, when they fall prey to the rules and regulation that is holding, that is guiding athletics.
Let's talk about the Nigerian Premier League, because we hear Benga Elegbeleye has been appointed as the chairman of the Nigerian Premier League. The appointment was announced by the Nigerian Football Federation in Abuja. Elegbeleye, former deputy chairman of the House of Representative Committee on Youth and Sport, headed the interim management committee that executed the last Nigerian Premier League season, and the Super Six, drawing high praise from the NFF and stakeholders in general. The new Nigerian Premier League board are Mala Mohammed Nisaru and Pombe Ogun, Daniel Mokachi, Oke Paluku, Malam Suleimanuma, and Dominic Lofa. The secretary / legal advisor is Danlami Ibrahim, while the chief operating officer is Davison Boyemi. The new Nigerian Premier League board has a 2-year tenure, the same as the board for the Nigerian National League, the Nigerian Women Football League, and the Nigerian Nationwide League that was inaugurated on Monday. So we have a new board now for the Nigerian Premier League, and Benga Elegbeleye, of course, has been given the mantle once again.
Yeah, I think I was happy when I learned of the news, or when I heard the news rather. Benga Elegbeleye, we see what he was able to bring to the table in the just concluded NPFL, their bridge season. We've seen a couple of improvements from the league, what it used to be, where a away team cannot just pick a vital point when they go for away matches because of this crowd violence, and they must win syndrome for some home teams in the past, where they find it difficult to accept defeat even when it is staring on their faces. It's either their fans resort to violence, by attacking match officials, beating up refs. All that have, we've seen a stop to that from what we saw from the last season. And Benga Elegbeleye also was one of the senior man, or I would say was very instrumental in conducting organizing the just concluded Super 8, where we see a great improvement. You saw the massive turnout in that Super 8 tournament, and the side attraction and different things that came to play. So for me, I think looking at what Benga Elegbeleye and his crew has been able to bring to the Nigerian Premier League over last season, and coupled with what they did in the Super 8, I think he's the right man for the job. And I saw some other names there as well, Daniel Amokachi and the rest. I think we should give them that benefit of that for these 2 good years, owing to the fact that we've seen that there is a massive improvement from what our league used to be before. So giving him the mantle of leadership at this point in time, I think he will actually take our league to the next level.
Are we looking forward to see how the Nigerian Premier League will pan out next season? Benga Elegbeleye, of course, has been appointed once again to carry out activities in the league with other members as well. Let's see how the league, of course, will go in hands come next season. Let's talk about the 2023 Women's World Cup. Early as of today, the Super Falcons of Nigeria fought to a gallant goalless draw in their opening match against Olympic champion Canada, with goalkeeper and captain Chiamaka Nadozidi the heroine after stopping Christian Sinclair's second half penalty and making several saves. It was Nigerian 27th match at the FIFA Women's World Cup, and the Super Falcons went into Melbourne, a rectangular stadium, as the clear underdogs to Olympic champion Canada in their fluorescent lime green kits. The legendary Sinclair, who is 40 years, led the Canadians, and with 190 international goals, were straight in the ascendancy. Coach Ronnie Wardroom elected to leave out his 40-year-old captain in the Navy, and the team was without a suspended duo of midfield debutant Halimatu Ayinde and informed forward Rashidat Ajibade. What do you make of that performance we saw as of today between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and Canada? How will you rate the performance of the Super Falcons?
Well, for me, I think from the scale of 1 to 10, I will rate them 5%, you know, average. Why? Because, you know, heading into that one, actually, no bookmakers actually give the Super Falcons any chance heading into that one against Canada, who is Olympic champion, and they've had a very better planning or arrangement or warm-ups before this very competition, contrary to what we have in the Super Eagle camp, where the coach is embroiled with altercations between the coach and the federation and the players as well. So for the ball possession, or contrary to 32 that we have, they had about 16 shots, you know, and contrary to what we have, which is 11. And out of those 16 shots that Canada had, they just managed to have 4 shots on target, and the 11 shots that the Super Falcons had, we just had 1 shot on target. They had 7 corner kicks, and we had 6 corner kicks. So for me, it will say that it's a fair game, because no one gave them a chance heading into that very big one against you know, star-studded team like Canada and the Olympic champion, like I said earlier. So for me, I think it's a fair point. If they can build on this in their next game and they're able to get 3 points, I think I would say it's a good one for them.
Let's take a look at individual brilliance in that Super Falcons squad. What do you make of the players, you know, individual performance?
I think if there is any player that I'm going to single out there for praise, is the goalkeeper. You know, she actually kept us on that game, you know, making some vital saves out there, and even a penalty, she was able to save a penalty, which is a Herculean task for the keeper, who kept us you know, in that game. If not, before the first time, the game should have been over, because of a couple of chances and attempts that the Canadians you know, made out there. But the keeper was able to stand very firm to, you know, dispel those threats. So for me, I think it's a very good addition for us, a goalkeeper that we can always bank on and rely on. We had a couple of chances as well, but no thanks to the midfield draw who were absent in our field, because I think where we got it wrong was actually the midfield. The forward, they struggled to get that through pass that should have, you know, enabled Asisat Oshola to bank in the goals. Though Asisat had 1 or 2 chances even in the first half, where the Canadian keeper made an error. She capitalized on the error to round the keeper, but was unable to, you know, rifle a shot behind the post. So for me, I think I want to single out the player, I mean the goalkeeper, for praise.
And talking about the tactical prowess of Coach Randy Wardrum, what do you make of his tactical approach in that game?
Fair, I would say, because having known that we are the underdogs heading into that one, he has to play deep, ask his player to stay deep in that very one. So we didn't come out all that much. It was playing the kind of precautionary game. He didn't want to take chances. So what he had to do was what he did, which is telling the player not to go, you know, to push forward, you know, but to stay deep and able to absorb the pressure, you know, from the Canadians. So for me, I think his tactical prowess was very fair.
All right, so up next for the Super Falcons will be Australia. And Michael, take a look at the game against Australia, which comes up next week Thursday.
Yeah.
And we'll be playing Ireland as well in the third encounter. How far do you see the Super Falcons go in this World Cup?
Well, it's a very difficult one to call here, because taking a look at the statistics of what the Super Falcons have done since the inception of the World Cup, where they have taken part, they have played a total 27 games and able to win just 4 out of those 27 games. And in all of those outings that they have been able to make it through to the World Cup. We just see that they have managed to scale through the group stage two times. You know, so for me, out of the 9 appearances they've made in the World Cup stage, they have just managed to pass through the group stage 2 good times. And for me, it is not a good statistics going into the next game. But in football, you don't always put some of those statistics to consideration. It boils down to what the players want. If actually they are hungry enough, you know, to assert themselves in the field, all those statistics don't really count. But for me, our chances going into the next game, I think I would say it's fair, because getting a point against a Canadian team that is very strong, I think at least it gives the girls that confidence and morale heading into the next game, believing that if they can be able to muster a point from a very good team such as Canada, they can, you know, also beat the host country, which is not very easy though, because the 12th man will be there for them, which is the home fans. You know what they bring into the table. Sure. When the home crowd is definitely for you, at least those support will go a whole long way to ginger their players to victory. But I know that the Super Falcons haven't been able to hold Canada to a goalless draw. They can, you know, draw inspiration from that heading into the next game.
All right, we saw another encounter today. Spain cruised to victory in the Women's World Cup opener as they dominated Costa Rica in Wellington. Valera del Campo scored an own goal to put Spain ahead before Tana Bonmati called in a second 2 minutes later. Esther Gonzalez added a third after a header against the crossbar by Jennifer Formoso, who then had a penalty saved by Daniela Solera. Olga Camano hit the bar, and Solera made a number of 5 saves to restrict Spain to 3 goals. The Spanish team dominance was shown in the match stats, as they had 46 attempts at goal, including 12 on target, with Costa Rica ranked 36 in the world, only having 1 shot which went wide. Spain also had 80% possession and 22 corners, compared with just 1 from the opponent. We saw another interesting encounter today in the FIFA Women's World Cup as Switzerland opened their 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup campaign with a 2 goals in a victory over debutant Philippines in Donadale, New Zealand. Romona Benchman's penalty late in the first half opened the scoring for the Swiss before Serena Pobel doubled their lead with a close-range effort in the 64th minute. The result moved Switzerland to the top of Group A above co-host New Zealand on goal difference. Michael, debutant Philippines, they didn't get it that very nice against Switzerland. This is the first time they're attending the FIFA World Cup, both in the male team and the female team. So the female team makes it first to the FIFA World Cup.
For me, I want to give Philippines a credit. You know, it's not an easy one, making your maiden appearance in an international stage such as a World Cup, Women World Cup, which is a very big stage, and you're able to hold your own, just conceding 2 goals in your first game. I want to give special praise to their keeper as well, who was up and doing. If not for her brilliance, it should have been like 10-0. So for me, I think I want to give credence to Philippines, because it's not an easy one. Even their male counterpart have not been able to make it to the World Cup. This is their first appearance, and they are just conceding 2 goals against a very good opponent. So for me, I think they need to draw positive from this very one going forward.
All right, let's talk club football on the show. As Manchester United, of course, they have a new captain at the moment. Bruno Fernandes is the new captain of the side. What do you make of the decision of the team in giving Bruno Fernandes the captain armband?
For me, I think it's a very poor decision in handing Bruno Fernandes the captain armband. Many will not agree with me, but the truth is that Bruno Fernandes has temper issues. He's very temperamental, and he complains a whole lot. And giving such a player the captain armband, to go out there and be able to organize his team, is very difficult for someone that has temperamental issue and complains a whole lot. Even when the game is going in favor of Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes still complain a whole lot. Sometimes even get a yellow card for too much of complaints. Now, you are giving him, making him the captain of a team. For me, I think it's a very wrong decision, because some of your players will be looking up to you. There are qualities that is expected of a captain. One of those qualities is your ability to remain calm, when the pressure is high. And so for me, I think it's a wrong decision compared to the character of Bruno Fernandes. That is why I say it's a very wrong one. I think the right person that should have, be given that captain armband is Casemiro, who has the experience internationally, both club-wise as well. He has seen it all. He has won many Champions League. So for me, I think that should be the perfect, person that should have, done on the captain armband of Manchester United. Manchester United is a very big club. You don't just give a captain armband to anybody out there. So for me, I think it's a wrong decision.
Andre Onana has been confirmed as a Manchester United player. What do you make of his presence in the team now?
Well, for me, having seen the way they treated David De Gea, who left, very unceremoniously, I must say, bringing in Onana. Onana is a good keeper, I must say, very good with the feet as well. And in modern football, that is what so many coaches, crave out there. But looking at the statistics of Onana coming into this one, leaving Inter Milan, which is a Serie A, coming down to Premier League, it's a different ball game altogether. And Onana did not have a quite long spell at Italy, so that we can be able to evaluate his performance. He was just there less than a year that he went to Italy, played 24 Serie A games, and he also played 13 Champions League games, able to keep 8 clean sheets. Coming to Premier League is a different ball game altogether. So for me, I think if Manchester United can beef up their defense and make it more solid, like what we have in Inter Milan, I would say it's a good one, because if you have a very good keeper with a very porous defense, my brother, you will make that keeper to look like a basket. He will just concede goals. So for me, I think let's just keep our fingers crossed until the season starts, and we'll see what he can be able to do out there.
And with that, we call it a wrap on today's edition for Sports Extraordinary. So thanks to Michael for doing justice on the show today.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Don't forget, please send your detail with the facts with extra progress. So we'll be back tomorrow by 10 a.m. for ATN Sports Personality.